right, I'm here with Drake Hogestyn back at the Days of Our Lives set.
We love soaps.
We love soaps. You do love soaps. I mean, we're talking about a long time on soap operas, and you are back.
We love soaps. We love soaps.
What do you love about soaps?
We love soaps.
I mean, you're an athlete. What do you love about soaps?
You know, I'll tell you a short little story. When I was playing professional baseball in the Yankee organization, we would go out, we'd be on the road, you would play your game, you'd go out and have a few beers afterwards and whatever, and come back and sleep in late, and then my teammates, my roommates, would order up room service, and they would watch soap operas. I would go out and I'd run off.
These big, burly guys would watch soap operas.
And I didn't. But you know, I'd laugh. I'd give them a hard time. And interestingly enough, a lot of those players made it up to the big leagues, either in the American League or the National League. And then when they were coming out here to play the Dodgers or the Angels, they'd call me up. Hey, Hoagie, can we come on the set? I remember at that particular time. During that time, I was in a romance, Roman and Diana.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Remember that one?
I sure do. Those Greek remotes. And,
you know, yeah. And Jeannie Francis was my co-star. And here are these big baseball players, you know, that. And they came into the studio and they just melted like just little kids in front of Jeannie. Oh my God, they couldn't even talk.
Wow.
You know, and it just shows you the impact that this medium has on certain people.
It sure does, and a lot of people don't realize that, and it's important to remember that in this day and age, that all kinds of people love these shows.
Yeah, the audience has an emotional attachment for certain characters, and that's why we have so many characters.
Yes.
So we have little something to choose from, and the storylines are all across the board, so a little something for everybody.
And we have so many, sometimes one actor playing so many characters, because I lost count at about 8 different identities for John, Black, Roman, Forrest, Romulus.
Right.
I can't keep track.
I think we ended up at Ryan DeMira, and then there was Father John, Mercenary John, and it goes on and on.
How do you keep all this straight in your mind?
You know, it's interesting. My dressing room, the one that I was in for a long period of time until I left, I had written on the wall when I started as the pawn, and it was like a diagrammed sentence, and all of my storylines, where they went, and who was involved, so I could keep track myself. And then when the identity change would happen, and I used to have head writers come in sometimes, like, and look at the wall, like, what happened at this point up here? And I said, well, it's when we kind of changed writers, and that storyline fizzled out, so maybe we can pick up something from this area. But you know, interestingly enough, when you talk about John Black, you basically are channeling Jason Bourne. And when I read for this part in 1985, Doris Saba, the casting agent, started describing the character, and I said, wait a minute, Doris. And out of my briefcase, I pulled the Bourne identity. I said, you talking about Robert Ludlum's Jason Bourne? She goes, we can't get the name, we're taking the initials, and we're going to call him John Black. And it is the search for the identity. So those first 3 months on the show, I started on, my first air show was January 23rd, 1986. Foolproof story, working with Deidre. The audience wanted to see the character of Roman back. That wasn't the way it was described to me. They just said, we're going to go from February sweeps to May sweeps, and that's the block of time for the contract. And God willing, the audience was on board, and they wanted to see a little bit more of this character. And 23 years to the day, you know, January 23rd, 2009 was my last air show for, well, until now. We love soaps.
Yes, and you are back. Now, is John, last time we saw John, he was recovering in a hospital room. He was wheeling out. Oh, I love it when you said that. I can't believe I heard you say that in person. Say it again.
Nah, come on. That's just, that came out of the moment.
I love it. I love that. Okay. It's been 25 years of me hearing that.
Got to keep the eyebrow down, too. Keep the eyebrow down.
So John Black is back. Is he still in a wheelchair? Is he still recovering? What's he been doing the last 2 years?
A grueling rehab in Switzerland, touch and go.
That's where people go to rehab, Switzerland?
Touch and go. Well, actually, it was a clinic just outside Lausanne. It was the only one in the world that could cure this evil toxin that was injected into my spine by the evil psychiatrist. And so for the last 2.5 years, it was touch and go. And was basically a semi-quadriplegic state, but he comes back into Salem at the very tail end of that recovery process, only to meet another foe. Well, an event that spins out of control. Okay. And people have been waiting for him to get back into America, and as soon as he lands, we're off and running on a new storyline. It's topical. It's torn out of the front page of the headline news. It's something people can relate to. That's what's so great about Marlene McPherson and Daryl Ray Thomas. They've written for us before. They know the characters, they know the fabric of the show, and they're bringing character-driven stories. And what I mean by that is, you know, you can't stop turning the pages in your script. This morning I walked in, 2 scripts are underneath my door, pick them up, sit at my desk, and just start thumbing through not only my scenes, but the other scenes in the rest of the show, because they're all page turners. So we're looking forward to what's going to happen. September 26th is technically the day that we have the Days 2.0. We're reinvigorating the show, re-energizing it, bringing back a lot of fan favorites, which I'm sure you will be interviewing.
That's right. So Deidre, Christy, right. Patrick, Matt, they're all back, all your friends.
Yeah, it was the first day I walked in here. It took 3 hours from my car to the dressing room. And first of all, you go through the midway, and there's the cameraman, and we all start laughing and scratching and, you know, doing the guy stuff, and then came in through between Studio 2 and 4, and out of the studio comes Christy, and comes Patrick, and comes Matt, and it's like, ah! And then we go in the makeup room, and it's all over once you walk in there. I mean, that's Grand Central. And by the time I got back to my dressing room, which is the same one I left, which was like, wow, I sat there and went, that 2.5 years seemed like 2.5 decades, or was it 2.5 days? It was like the weirdest feeling to be back home again, in such a good way. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you look great, Drake, I gotta say.
Well, thank you. I mean, you know, if you would have got me 10 minutes earlier, you would have got me in the shower. But I just finished today, and
next time we'll do that.
I just finished, and I go in my dressing room and I peel off my stuff and hang it all up because I'm so anal about wardrobe. And then I jump in the shower and get all cleaned up, and then they knock on the door. I said, well, I should have my makeup on, you know, and look more like John Black, you know.
We'll talk to the PR about the shower interview next time. But it's great to see you. I'm so glad you're back on the show, and I really look forward to it. John Black has his memory back now.
John Black's got his memory back. And he's off. He's ready to give everybody both barrels right now.
All right, we look forward to that. Hey, thank you so much.
You bet.
It's great to see you.
Good to see you.
It's really great to see you.